Hi everyone, welcome to the first webinar of a series of webinars conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming operational case study examinations happening in November 2022. My name is Nick and I'm the lead tutor and evaluator for TCS, and I'll be handling the operational case study related webinars, as well as I'm the lead tutor when it comes to material preparation as well as preparation of mock exams, and I'm involved with providing feedback, personalized feedback to your answer scripts as well. All right, so let's try to figure out what the session outcomes are. First things first, I'm going to take you through the OCS exam overview, because for most of you, this might be the first time you are attempting a CIMA case study. So you need to understand the nitty-gritties pertaining to the CIMA case study, what will be tested, what the structure of the examination is, and whatnot. And as the second part of today's session, I will be providing a 6-week study plan, because your pre-scene will be released next Friday or next Saturday. So from next Friday up until your examination date, you have something like 6.5 weeks. So rather than waiting until the last moment to prepare for the examination, we recommend that you utilize your upcoming 6 weeks appropriately. Then if you have a study plan, then and if you stick to the study plan, then you'd find it extremely easy to do your preparations on time, because if you prepare yourself on time, then you have a high chance of passing the exam. Okay, and last but not least, I will be opening up the session for a Q&A session. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the schedule of the upcoming OCS webinars. Please be mindful that all these webinars which are conducted by TCS is done free of charge. And we are holding a total of 4 webinars, 4 weekly webinars. So as I told you earlier, from the pre-scene release date up until your exam, you have something like 6.5 weeks. So over the time period, we will be conducting 4 webinars, weekly webinars, and the dates and times are provided here. So the first webinar is happening today, which is the 6-week study plan. In the next webinar, which is happening on the 24th of September, that is next Saturday, I will be taking you through the pre-scene document, because the pre-scene document will be released next Friday. So Saturday itself, I will be taking you through the pre-scene document partially. Then an important webinar happens on the 1st of October, where I'll be talking about answering technique, because if you are to pass this examination, you need to know how to develop answers, and you need to know how you should manage your time, because this is a 3-hour examination paper. And if you do not manage your time appropriately, then your chances of passing the exam is extremely low. I've tutored so many students over the past 10 years, and as per my personal experience, most of the students who fail the exam, they fail because they cannot manage their time appropriately. And on top of that, most of the students do not know how to plan their answers. So that's what's covered under answering technique, the 3rd webinar. And the 4th webinar is happening on the 15th of October, where I will be talking about what you need to do to develop confidence, and what you need to do to maintain a positive attitude closer to the exam, because as per the CIMA examiner, students who have a positive attitude, or students who are confident, end up passing the exam comfortably. So these are the 4 webinars which will happen over a course of a month. Okay, so I hope that you will attend all these webinars. And if by any chance, if you miss out on attending these webinars, there's absolutely nothing to worry. The recorded versions of the webinars will be uploaded to the TCS website under the free content. Okay. Right. So let's talk about the pathway to OCS. So a set of students usually come through the general route. So these students have done their OTQ examinations pertaining to E1, F1, and P1. So these students who are coming through the general route, since they had done the E1, P1, and F1 related examinations, they are conversant with the syllabus content. So because of that, they find the operational case study to be a bit easier compared to students coming through the finance leadership program. So if I talk about the FLP or the finance leadership program, these are the type of students who are coming through an exemption route. So if you have finance related experience, and if you had done a finance related qualification, be it a professional qualification or an educational qualification, then you can come through this exemption route, which is the FLP route. So, usually, as I told you earlier, FLP students, since they had not done the OTQ examinations, they are not too conversant with the syllabus content, and there's a tendency for these students to struggle at the operational case study examination. But you need not worry too much about it, because we are providing services. So we have products which are specifically designed for students coming through the FLP route, so that these students are able to learn syllabus content before attempting the OCS exam. Okay, so you might be coming through the CIMA general route or the FLP route. Either way, we have products or services which are designed for you, and hopefully you would find them to be extremely beneficial when facing the OCS exam. Right, so let's try to figure out the nitty-gritties pertaining to the operational case study exam. This is a PC-based exam, and the total time allocation is 3 hours. As I told you earlier, you need to come to grips with how to manage this time appropriately, because if you do not manage your time, your chances of passing the OCS exam is extremely low. And in your examination, the entire examination is divided into 4 main areas or 4 main tasks, and each task carries a time allocation of 45 minutes. So 45 minutes into 4 makes up 3 hours. So, and talking about the pass mark, you need to score 80 marks out of 150 or 54% to pass your examination. Right, so let's try to get a gist of the overview of the exam. Information is provided about a fictitious company through a pre-seen document, which is provided in advance. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Your pre-seen document will be released next Friday. And in that pre-seen document, information is provided about a fictitious company. So you'd have information, or the CIMA examiner provides information about the company, its history, what it had been up to, what it is doing right now. And on top of that, the examiner gives you an indication about the industry dynamics in which the chosen company operates. So the examiner gives you certain hints about the market growth rates, the major players within the market, whether there are any international players. The examiner gives you an introduction into the type of customers you are dealing with. Okay, the market dynamics, the type of competitors which are there, all these things. And on top of that, the examiner gets into the nitty-gritties of the internal dynamics of the chosen company, talks about what happens with regards to production, with regards to the production department, what happens within the sales and marketing department, what happens within the finance department, HR department, IT department, and whatnot. And on top of that, at the very end, the examiner provides financial statements, thereby providing information pertaining to the SOFP, the statement of financial position or the balance sheet, then the SOPL, the statement of changes in statement of cash flows and whatnot, and budgetary information will be provided so that you can gain an idea about what type of budgets are there, and whether they are using standard costing or not. The examiner gives you an indication about the costing environment of the chosen company, and at the very end, the examiner gives you reference material, and by going through this reference material, you can gain an understanding about what type of scenarios will be thrown at you at the real exam. Okay, so information is provided about a fictitious company through a pre-seen document, and your pre-seen document will be shared next Friday. And in the exam, you are required to address issues or questions relating to the operations of the company. So as I told you earlier, the examiner gives you an indication about what has happened in the past in the in your company, and on top of that, what is happening at present. So when you walk into the examination hall, it's as if you are receiving an email from the finance manager of the company. So you are playing the role of an employee working for this company, and you will be getting an email from your finance manager, or it could be your finance director. And when getting these emails, some type of an issue the company faces will be highlighted, and based on the issues faced by the company, you are supposed to provide solutions, or you are supposed to, if there are certain concerns raised by the finance manager, you are supposed to give your opinion about it. So you are required to address issues or questions relating to the operations of the company. And when providing your answers, you have to have a good knowledge about the company and the industry. I'm not saying that you need to be an expert or you need to memorize everything which appears in the pre-seen document, but you need to have a general level of understanding about what happens within the company as well as what happens within the industry. And on top of that, the examiner is also testing whether you have gained an appropriate level of knowledge from your E1, P1, and F1 related syllabus content. Okay. Why is the examiner giving you a case study to figure out whether you have an appropriate level of knowledge about syllabus content? Because there's absolutely no point of knowing IAS 16, property, plant, and equipment, for instance, if you do not know how to apply it to a real business environment. There's absolutely no point of knowing to calculate different types of variances if you do not know how to apply that knowledge to a real business. So in order to test that only, the CIMA examiner tests your knowledge through a case study examination. So you need to have a good level of knowledge about the company and the industry, as well as you need to possess an appropriate level of knowledge pertaining to E1, P1, and F1 related syllabus content. So as I highlighted earlier, students who are coming through the FLP route or the exemption route usually lack a proper level of knowledge pertaining to E1, P1, and F1, but there's absolutely nothing to worry. We have products which best suits your needs. Okay, so that's an overview of the exam. So let's try to figure out what your role is, what type of a role you are supposed to play. Before I do that, I think a question came through, so I'll address this concern. Is there an area, E1, P1, or F1, which has more of a focus in the exam? Any syllabus area can be tested at your exam, but when talking about the preference or the weightages provided, P1 and F1 is tested heavily in your examination. If you look at E1, it is not tested too much because E1 has everything to do with decision making. So there's a lot of concepts which you're learning, but since you're playing the role of a finance officer who is at the lowest level of the organization, the examiner tests or focuses more on testing knowledge pertaining to P1 and F1. So a high level of prominence is given to P1, then F1, and a extremely low level of prominence is given to E1. Having said that, you cannot forget any syllabus area, because as per the CIMA examiner, any syllabus area can be tested in your exam. I hope I addressed your concern. All right, so having said that, let's move on with the session. So let's try to figure out what your role is. You are playing the role of a finance officer. So let's try to figure out what a finance officer is up to, and where a finance officer is located within an organization. So as you all know, a typical organization is mainly divided into three areas. At the very top, you get the strategic level. In the middle, you get the tactical level, and at the very bottom of the organization, you get the operational level. So if you look at these three areas, at the strategic level, you get the board of directors. So these board members, they are involved with long-term decision making. So they set the strategic direction or the long-term direction of the company. At the middle level, you get middle level managers who are involved with creating a link between the strategic level and the operational level. And the people at the lowest level of the organization are involved with the day-to-day running of the company or day-to-day operations of the company. So you are playing the role of a finance officer who is located within the operational level of the organization. So you are involved with the day-to-day running or day-to-day activities of the organization. So as an individual who is involved with the day-to-day activities, you are not supposed to be involved with decision making too much. Instead, you are supposed to provide your thoughts about certain concepts or problems whenever your finance manager raises a concern. So for instance, your finance manager may ask you, okay, we are using an incremental budgeting system at the moment. Do we have any other option when it comes to budgeting? Can we move on to an activity-based budgeting system? So in such a context, since you are involved with the day-to-day running of the company or the day-to-day operations of the company, you are supposed to explain what activity-based budgeting is about. So you are assisting the decision makers instead of actually being directly involved with decision making. So a moderate level of application and practical thinking is expected at the operational case study level. Why? Because you are playing the role of a finance officer who is involved with the day-to-day running of the company. And theories are heavily tested at this level, and practical decision making is extremely limited because you are assisting the decision makers rather than recommending your own decisions or being directly involved with decision making. So since theories are heavily tested at this level, at the operational level, you need to know your syllabus content. If you lack an appropriate level of knowledge, especially when it comes to P1 and F1 related areas, your chances of passing the exam is extremely low. All right, so I also want to highlight what you need to do when preparing for the examination. First things first, you need to read something called the annotated pre-scene. Okay, so as I told you earlier, the examiner provides a pre-scene document, and in this pre-scene document, information about a fictitious company is provided, and based on this fictitious company only, you would see questions being thrown at you. So what we do at TCS is we provide or we further analyze the pre-scene with annotations. So this is what an annotated pre-scene looks like. This is the pre-scene which was relevant for the previous session, May and August 2022. So as you can see, I myself prepared this annotated pre-scene, and the annotations are provided in a concise and extremely understandable manner so that you can easily spot what is highlighted in the pre-scene document. And if you go through these annotations, or if you remember these annotations, that's what you need to these annotations carry all the information you need to know when preparing for the case study exam, rather than memorizing the entire pre-scene. Just remember these points, then you would have all the necessary knowledge about the company as well as the information which is provided in the pre-scene. So as you can see, all the information is summarized and it's easily understandable. And based on this annotated pre-scene only, we prepare our 4 pre-scene analysis videos. So the pre-scene document is divided into 4 main areas, and as per these areas, we prepare 4 pre-scene analysis videos. In video number 1, an introduction to the company will be provided. In the second video, an industry analysis will be carried out. And in video number 3, I will be taking you through the company operations. And in the 4th and last video, an in-depth financial analysis will be conducted based on the financial statements provided in the pre-scene document. And on top of that, you are supposed to watch the 3 video lectures as well, because as per our experience, just by going through the suggested answers of mock exams, students are not in a position to really understand the type of answers you are supposed to provide, or the quality of answers you are supposed to provide. So in order to better understand the content which is highlighted in the suggested answers of mocks, you are supposed to go through the 3 video lectures where I myself is providing explanations into answers pertaining to mocks 3, 4, and 5. I will talk about this point later on as well. And another thing which you need to do is I invite you guys to attend all webinars, and if by any chance you miss out on any of the webinars, I invite you guys to watch the recorded versions, which will be uploaded onto our website under the free content. And you are supposed to refer to slides, the industry analysis slides, which helps you better understand the industry. So these industry analysis slides are based on real life examples or real life industry dynamics. So by going through these industry analysis slides, you'd have possess all the necessary information about the industry. So I'll just let me take you the industry analysis slides which we prepared for the previous case study. So the market definition is provided, which helps you better understand what your company is about, or in what type of an industry your company operates in. The market dynamics based on real life information is provided. The competitive landscape, market shares, the segmentation, the trends in the industry, as well as 2 real world examples based on 2 real companies are provided as well. And on top of that, you need to go through the financial analysis slides. So that's exactly what you can see right now. So in the financial analysis slides, we have conducted horizontal analysis based on the SOPL, the statement of profit and loss, the statement of financial position, as well as the statement of cash flows, and a ratio analysis is conducted, and each and every ratio is evaluated in depth, so that you are in a position to easily figure out what type of questions will be thrown at you, as well as you can easily figure out the financial stability of the company. All right, so you need to go through the financial analysis slides. Then you are also supposed to go through the top 10 issues slide, where we are highlighting the top 10 areas which can be tested, or the top 10 scenarios which can appear in your exam. So we are giving some predictions in here, and we are providing theory recap slides as well pertaining to E1, F1, and P1 related areas. Our theory recap slides are concise. So this is a summary of our revision cards pertaining to F1. So the contents are there, and all the information is provided in a concise manner, so that you can easily remember the information which you need to provide in your answers or cover in your answers, right? And it's concise and downloadable. So theory recaps are provided. And on top of that, the most important product which we are offering is the 5 exam standard mock exams. So you are supposed to attempt all 5 mock exams, and based on that, you are supposed to develop answer plans based on suggested answers of all 5 mock exams. So I will be highlighting how to develop answer plans in our third webinar, which is happening in another 2 weeks time. So, before getting into the nitty-gritties, I'm just highlighting what you need to do in the upcoming 6 weeks when preparing for your exam. So you are supposed to read the annotated pre-scene, watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, watch 3 video lectures based on the suggested answers of mocks 3, 4, and 5, attend all webinars, refer to the slides, practice mock exams, and develop answer plans based on suggested answers of all 5 mock exams. All right, so that's your to-do list. And important dates: exam entry closes on the 25th of October 2022. So if you're planning to do your exams in November, you have to book your exam before the 25th of October. And the exam dates are from the 9th of October to the 11th of October. All right, so before we move on to the 6-week study plan, any questions, guys? Any questions? All right, so what we have done is we had developed a 6-week study plan, because as I told you earlier, from the release of the pre-scene document, you have 6.5 weeks, something like 6.5 weeks leading up to your OCS exam window. So in order to make your life easier, what I've done is I've divided your work into 7 weeks, and I've highlighted in depth, or I've come up with an in-depth to-do list which you need to stick to. So your first week is from the 23rd of September to the 30th of September. So in that week, yeah, I'll address your concern once I'm done with the 6-week study plan. So in the first week, you are supposed to read the annotated pre-scene, watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, refer to the financial analysis slides, industry analysis slides, top 10 issue slides, and the OCS familiarization kit. Okay, so if you look at all these areas, you are supposed to do 6 or carry out or go through 6 study material. It's not a big deal, because it's just a matter of just watching 4 videos. All these videos would take up something like 4 hours or 5 hours of your time, and on top of that, you are just supposed to refer to 5 different slides or documents. Okay, so within the first week, although there's a lot to be done, these are extremely simple documents or videos which you need to go through. So there's nothing much to be done in the first week. So, and the second webinar is happening next Saturday, which is the 24th of September. You are supposed to attend that as well, where I'll be taking you through the pre-scene document. So as I told you earlier, the pre-scene document is divided into 4 main areas, and I'll be highlighting information pertinent to one of the 4 main areas. Okay, and in the second week, which runs from the 1st of October to the 8th of October, you are supposed to refer to the theory recap slides pertaining to E1, F1, and P1, because you need to brush up your knowledge pertaining to the theoretical content. And especially if you are coming through the FLP route, you need to be conversant with the syllabus content. And you are supposed to watch the recorded video of OCS webinar 3, answering technique. So the third OCS webinar is happening on the 1st of October. So attend that webinar. If you miss out on that webinar, watch the recorded version. After doing that, only you are supposed to attempt mock number 1 under simulated exam conditions. Okay, so I will be highlighting how to attempt mocks later on when I'm doing the answering technique webinar, which is the third webinar. So you are supposed to attend the webinar, and if you miss out on it, you are supposed to watch the recorded version before you attempt mock number 1. Why am I saying it? Because most students, they blindly start attempting mock exams. Just because you attempt mock exams, it does not mean that you will be providing quality answers, or your chances of passing the exam increases. Instead, you need to know the type of answers you need to provide. You need to know how to manage your timing appropriately. You need to know how to plan your answers or how to come up with answer structures. So all these things will be highlighted in the third webinar. So attend the third webinar, then start attempting mock exam 1. And after attempting the first mock exam, you are supposed to develop answer plans based on the suggested answers of mock 1. So as I told you earlier, we are providing 5 mock exams, and for each mock exam, we are providing suggested answers, exam standard suggested answers. So based on these suggested answers, you are supposed to develop your own answer plans or short notes. Why am I asking you to do it? Because closer to the exam, rather than going through pages and pages of suggested answers, if you have a short note of it, then it's easier for you to go through the answer. Then it's easier for you to understand the content as well as the structure of the answer. When you understand the structure of the answer, then you are in a position to gain high marks at the exam, because you know, based on the requirement, what type of an answer you are supposed to provide. You know, based on the mark allocation, how many points you need to highlight in your answer, and based on that you can develop a structure. And when you structure your answers properly, you would get good marks. Okay, so in the second week itself, you have to start attempting mock exam 1. Before you do that, attend the third webinar, then attempt mock number 1. And after attempting mock number 1, you are supposed to do a study summary or an answer plan based on the suggested answer. And in the third week, you are supposed to attempt mock number 2 under simulated exam conditions again. So, I'll be highlighting what a simulated exam condition is later on. Okay, so attempt mock exam 2 in week number 3, and again develop answer plans based on the suggested answers of mock 2. And on the third week, you'll be having the final webinar, which is known as exam prep, where I'll be highlighting what you need to do to develop confidence, and what you need to do to maintain a high level of confidence and a positive attitude closer to the exam. And in the fourth week, things get serious, because the first 2 mocks, we had developed the first 2 mocks in a way to make sure that you become conversant with the study system, you become conversant with the type of questions which will be thrown at you. But from the third mock onwards, you need to get serious. And from the fourth week, you are supposed to attempt the third mock under simulated exam conditions, then develop answer plans based on the suggested answer of mock number 3. And if you opt for personalized feedback, tutor feedback, you are supposed to refer to the tutor feedback as well, to figure out whether you had provided proper answers or not, and to figure out how many marks you have gained by attempting the mock exam. And we are also providing video lectures where we explain the entire mock 3 based on the suggested answers. You are supposed to watch the video lecture as well, so that you are in a position to better understand the content of the answer. Then you will be in a position to understand the quality of answers you are supposed to adhere to when attempting your exam. Then the same thing needs to be done in week number 4 as well, attempting mock number 4, developing answer plans based on the suggested answer, getting personalized tutor feedback, and watching the video lecture pertaining to mock number 4. And the same exercise is carried on to week number 6, where you are supposed to do everything pertaining to mock number 5. And from the 6th November to the exam date, you have something like 3 days before the exam, or 4 days before the exam. So what are you supposed to do within the last 3 or 4 days? Most students, what they do is they start preparing for the exam during the last week. That is not recommended, because as you can see, you have a lot to do. You can't do all these things within 1 week. So what happens is, since you run out of time, students attempt just 1 or 2 mock exams. they never get feedback from tutors, and they never check their answers with the suggested answers. They never do study summaries. So all these, because of all these things, most of the students end up failing the exam. To be honest with you, the pass rate for OCS is somewhere around 50 to 53%. So if 100 students sit the exam, 50% of them fail. Why? Because of a lack of preparation. So rather than waiting until the last week, what I suggest you to do is start from next week onwards. You have just 6 weeks until the exam. I'm not asking you to study every day for 3 to 4 hours. I've just mentioned what you need to do. So on a weekly basis, I want you to allocate something like 3, 4, 5, 6. If you can allocate something like 7 hours per week, then that's what's necessary. Okay. So for instance, when attempting the mock exams, you can do something like this. Let's assume you are attempting mock exam 3. Okay. So when attempting mock exams, uh, attempt the mock exam on a Tuesday, because usually Mondays are hectic. So start attempting the mock exams on Tuesdays. So let's assume you attempt mock exam 3 on Tuesday. Then develop the answer plans based on the suggested answer on Wednesday. Get your feedback. You will be getting your feedback by Thursday, because we at TCS, we provide feedback to your answer scripts within 48 hours. So if you attempt the exam on Tuesday, by Thursday, you would get your feedback. So after getting your feedback on Friday, go through the video lecture to figure out the quality of answers or the expected quality of your answers. So you have Saturday and Sunday to yourself, where if you feel that your answers are not up to standard, or if you had not scored appropriate marks, then you have 2 more days to re-attempt the mock, or develop answer plans, or work on your answer planning technique, work on your time management technique and whatnot. So I'm not asking you to do too much. Attempt the mock exam, take 3 hours of your time, attempt it on Tuesday. Wednesday, go through the suggested answer. Then by Thursday, you would get feedback to your mock. And on Friday, you can watch the video lecture pertaining to mock number 3. Then on Saturday and Sunday, you have enough and more time to rework on mock number 3. And, continue doing the same for mock number 4 and 5 as well. On Tuesday, you do the mock. By Wednesday, on Wednesday, you go through the suggested answer and develop answer plans. By Thursday, you get feedback. And on Friday, go through the video lecture. And Saturday and Sunday, if you think you need to do work some more, if you think that you need to go through revision cards pertaining to E1, F1, and P1, or whatever, you can do all these things during the weekend. So that's what you are supposed to do. And in the last days, you are not supposed to do any mock exams. You are supposed to relax 3 or 4 days leading up to the exam, because if you relax, then your chances of passing the exam is extremely high. So within the last 3 or 4 days, refer to the study material, which are the financial analysis slides, industry analysis slides, and the top 10 issue slides. In the first week, you did it. So I'm closer to the exam, I'm asking you to brush up your knowledge pertaining to these areas, and refer to the answer plans of all 5 mocks. So every week, I said, after attempting the mock exam, to develop answer plans based on the suggested answer. So these answer plans are actually study summaries for each and every mock. So by the 7th week, you should have 5 study summaries for all 5 mocks. And just 3 or 4 days before the exam, rather than going through pages and pages of answers and complicating your life, you would have these study summaries. So once you go through the study summaries, it's as if you are covering the entire syllabus content in one go. Okay, so refer to the answer plans of all 5 mocks. Okay, read the annotated pre-scene one last time to refresh your memory about what is highlighted in the pre-scene document. Watch the recorded video of OCS webinar for exam prep, because as I highlighted earlier, in the 4th and the last webinar, we will be talking about what you need to do to develop confidence and maintain your confidence closer to the exam. So, go through this video again and, remind yourself what you need to do to develop confidence closer to the exam, and stop all work a day prior to the exam. Sleep, eat, and rest well. So you must be thinking that I'm stupid to ask you to do something like this, asking you to stop work a day prior to the exam. It's better to relax yourself, your mind and your body a day before the exam, because you are playing the role of a finance officer at the exam. So as the finance officer, it's as if you are walking into the office and you open an email and something is highlighted in the email, and you are trying to address the concern which is highlighted in the email. So the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real life work environment. So in a real life work environment, it's better to be relaxed. So let's assume you are walking into office on Monday. You know that it's hectic on Mondays, but Saturday and Sunday you have relaxed yourself, so you are in a better position. Your mind is working better. You are in a better psychological position to handle the pressure on Friday. So your exam is extremely pressurized. It creates an pressurized environment for 3 hours. So you need to think straight. In order to do that, a day before the exam, you are supposed to take a break. Don't go through any of the study material. Don't go through any mock exams. Just walk into the examination hall with an open mind. So in order to do that, you need to stop all work a day prior to the exam. So let's assume you are doing your exam on the 11th of November. By the 10th of November, you have to finish off all your work. By the 9th of November, you have to finish off all your work. And on the 10th, you take a break. And on the 11th, you go to the exam with an open mind. Okay, so that's what you're supposed to do on a weekly basis. Don't wait until the last 2 weeks or last week, because there's a lot you need to do. Just stick to our study plan. Allocate something like 7 hours per week. That's what's necessary. You need not work every day, as I highlighted earlier when attempting mock exams. Just stick to a simple plan as we suggested, and you'd have enough and more time on your hands. Don't wait until the last moment. Start from next week itself. Okay, so that's our 6-week study plan. Any questions pertaining to the study plan, folks? So one of the students is asking what would be the suggested study hours per week. So something like 6 hours or 7 hours per week. That's all what is necessary. Any questions? Seems like there aren't any questions, so I'm gonna talk about what we are offering. So we offer 4 packages in total. So first things first, I'm gonna take you through the essential pack. Under the essential pack, you'd have access to full pre-scene analysis videos, 4 videos in total, as I highlighted earlier. You'd get your hands on the annotated pre-scene, the industry analysis slides, financial analysis slides, top 10 likely issue slides, as well as the OCS familiarization kit. And the most important product under this package is are the 5 exam standard mock exams and suggested answers. And you'd have access to you'd gain access to a WhatsApp discussion forum as well, where I myself is an admin along with 2 other lecturers, and we will be always available to address your concerns. And the investment is gonna be £99. Okay. So that's the essential pack, and you can opt for the essential pack if you are extremely comfortable with self-studies. And on top of that, if you had aced your OTQ exams, if you had gotten good marks for E1, P1, and F1, then and if you are extremely comfortable with working on your own, or working in a self-paced exam or self-paced learning environment, then you should go for the essential pack, which is priced at £99. And we are providing something called an Essential Plus package as well, which is priced at £175. So if you purchase the Essential Plus package, you would have access to all study material provided under the Essential Pack. That's what I highlighted previously. On top of all the study material, you would gain access to 6+ hours of video lectures explaining the answers of mocks 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so if you watch these 3 videos, then you are in a position to better understand the content of answers. So by watching these videos, indirectly, you are covering the theoretical components, because I will be explaining the theoretical areas highlighted or tested in each and every task under mocks 3, 4, and 5. So you are actually, by going through these videos, you are in a position to conduct your own revision or revise your knowledge pertaining to E1, P1, and F1 related areas. And via these videos, I will be providing guidance on decrypting mocks and suggested answers. I'll be highlighting what you need to do when it comes to providing high quality answers, certain tips when it comes to understanding the requirement and providing high quality answers. And this product is recommended for students coming through the exemption route, especially the type of students who are coming through the FLP route, or students who had failed the exam previously. Because if you had failed the OCS exam previously, it shows that most of the time students fail because they lack an appropriate level of knowledge about theoretical content. Most students fail because they do not know how to manage their time appropriately, because they do not know to plan their answers appropriately. So the solution to all these problems are provided under these 6+ hour video lectures. Okay, the investment is going to be £175. Then I'm moving on to the value pack. So under the value pack, you get everything which comes under the essential pack, which are the pre-scene analysis videos, annotated pre-scene, industry analysis, financial analysis, and top 10 likely issue slides, the OCS familiarization kits, the 5 mock exams and suggested answers, access to the WhatsApp discussion forum. And on top of that, you'd gain access to our online mock exam platform. So when attempting your 5 mock exams, you can attempt it within our mock exam platform. And we had developed a mock exam platform which is akin to the Pearson VUE system. So before you walk into the exam, you are getting yourself accustomed with the exam platform, which helps you immensely at the real exam. So rather than attempting your real exam under exam conditions for the first time, you can practice attempting exams, 5 mock exams under real exam conditions. You can get yourself accustomed with real exam conditions, which is going to be extremely beneficial for you at the real exam. Okay, so if you invest on the value pack, you gain access to the mock exam platform. And on top of that, we are providing professional marking on and feedback on 3 of your mocks, namely mocks 3, 4, and 5. So I myself will be providing professional marking and feedback. And if I take you through the type of feedback which we provide, this is a real feedback which we have provided for one of the students who had attempted mock exam 3. So all the feedback is provided on a paragraph by paragraph basis. So all the areas are highlighted in here, all the shortcomings, as well as if a certain area has been addressed appropriately, that is highlighted as well. For instance, the students had provided a definition about decision trees appropriately. So I've said that it's accurate, and I've highlighted that the heading is appropriate as well. But if there are any shortcomings, elaborate feedback is provided. So throughout the document, you can see, in-depth feedback has been provided to the student. And on top of that, at the very end, we provide mark allocations as well based on the weightages provided in the exam. And as you can see, from the total mark, which is 150, the student had gotten just 68 marks. And based on that, we provide general comments about formatting, time management, and the type of justifications provided. All these things are provided, all this type of feedback is provided within 48 hours. So what you need to do is, after purchasing the value pack, attempt your mock exam under real exam conditions via our LMS or mock exam platform. And once you submit your answer, within 48 hours, you'd get feedback like this with mark allocations and elaborate tutor feedback. Okay, so that's what you'd get your hands-on if you invest on the value pack. And we are providing theory recaps under the value pack as well, pertaining to E1, F1, and P1. And the investment is going to be £199. So if you feel that you are not too comfortable with self-studies, then you have to go for the value pack, because you'd be getting feedback pertaining to your answers. And on top of that, you can always direct message me via WhatsApp. We provide study support, continuous study support leading up to your exam. So if there is any question, you can raise these concerns, and we are more than happy to help you guys out. Okay. And there's a value plus package as well. So you'd have access to all study material provided under the value pack, plus 6+ hours of video lectures where we are explaining mocks 3, 4, and 5. And which is and via these videos, as I highlighted earlier, we are providing guidance on decrypting mocks and suggested answers. And again, this is recommended for students coming through the exemption route or who had failed the exam previously. And the investment is going to be £275. Okay. All right. So all in all, the essential pack is relevant for, be it the essential pack or the essential plus pack. These two packages are relevant for students who are comfortable with self-learning. But if you think that you need tutor support along the way, go for the value pack or the value plus package. All right. So these are the packages which we are providing. Any questions, guys? Any doubts? Or if you have any questions, you can raise them now. You can simply switch on your mic and talk, or mention your concern in the chat section. Are these inclusive of VAT? Yeah. Okay, so let me take you through our website. So we are at the OCS, or the operational case study page. You can access free content by clicking on this button. Under the free content, we will be providing the recorded versions of the 4 webinars which we are conducting. And on top of that, you would get your hands on the mini mock and a suggested answer, okay, free of charge. And on top of that, you can also access the sample material, samples of all types of study material, the videos which we are providing, the mock exams which we are providing, everything is provided here. So, before purchasing or investing on our packages, I invite you guys to go through all the sample material to figure out the type of services offered by us, or the quality of services offered by us. And all course pricing and product information can be accessed by going through the FAQ section. All right. Any questions, folks? Any questions? All right. Since there aren't any questions, I'm gonna end the session. So before we end the session, you can contact us via the website, or simply drop us an email or WhatsApp us directly. And you can follow us on our social media handles as well. Especially the recorded versions of the webinars will be uploaded onto YouTube. And concluding thoughts, approach OCS as an opportunity to learn rather than an exam to pass. That's exactly what your CIMA examiner tries to achieve as well. Okay, so you are welcome. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. And let me remind you about the upcoming webinar, which is happening next Saturday. So your pre-scene will be out on Friday, and I'll be sharing the pre-scene document via WhatsApp, via the WhatsApp group. And on Saturday, I'll be out of the 4 videos, I'll be, or out of the 4 areas highlighted in the pre-scene document, I'll be evaluating one area. Okay. All right. So having said that, let me thank you again for joining in. I'll see you guys next week. Are the lectures the same time every week? Yes, at 6 p.m. UK time. Thank you and good night.